Brothers and sisters, Qabeelat Nurayn. I'm standing here, although you can't see them, with Brother Bilal Tariq and Brother Hamid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them for this effort and the effort of Allah in putting together this class. Now, Qabeelat Nurayn is obviously a Qabeelah that's loaded with history. It's one of the usul of AlMaghrib. It's one of the foundations of AlMaghrib. So I'm really excited to be coming and teaching with you guys. Just some of the feedback that I got from the other instructors was that this is a very serious group of students, so you got to keep your game up. So many times, every Qabeelah is so different, every Qabeelah is distinguished, and so that's the impression that I got about Qabeelat Nurayn. So I hope you don't disappoint me, and I hope I don't disappoint you with the class, inshallah. But just a few things that I wanted to share with you. Really, one of the things that distinguishes Islamic knowledge from all other fields of knowledge is that, and most of you being university students perhaps, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Usually when you study for a test, you go to a class, you learn what you need to learn to take that exam, get it out of the way, and then you probably won't ever use it again in your life. And you look at the qawl of Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah, where he says, "Shakawtu ila Waqi' su'a hifdhi," that I complained to Waqi' about my weak memory, so he told me to abandon sins, and he said that the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is light, and it won't be given to an asi, it won't be given to one who's disobedient. And one of the explanations of that is that when a person is consistently applying what they've learned and consistently living out the Quran, living out the Sunnah, living out these aqwal of the Salaf and so on and so forth, then they naturally retain it because it had that much of an impact on their lives. They'll naturally retain it. Whereas if you're just learning it and you're putting it on a bookshelf and you're writing, even if you're taking good notes and things of that sort, but if you're not living that knowledge in your life, then you're just bound to forget it. So that's the way they connected, Islamic knowledge. Is that, it's different. You learn it, you internalize it, you apply it, and then you move on to something bigger. But you never forget the foundations. Sometimes it's as basic as going back to, just the basic foundations of La ilaha illallah. I'm sure when some of you took a Light of Guidance with Shaykh Yasir, that was profound in your life. It was a profound impact. You were studying a statement that you've been saying your entire life, but it meant something more afterwards. And the goal of this class is that we start to approach knowledge in a different way, and we start to study knowledge with the intention of purification. And that's what knowledge is supposed to be. So we'll look at the things in this class that you will live in your everyday life. And here's the thing about this class. I'm telling you from right now. If you're planning on attending for one day, you're only fooling yourself. Friday is an introduction. Saturday is beating you down. Sunday is putting you back together. Alright, so after Saturday you're going to feel like a hypocrite, you're going to feel like you're going to hell. That's okay. Sunday, inshallah ta'ala, you'll have some more hope in this class. My goal with this class is that you have a good routine in your life to maintain spirituality, where it's not just an iman rush, okay, but to actually maintain spirituality in your lives, to maintain the sunnah regimen in your life, to keep yourself spiritually fit. And I hope, inshallah ta'ala, that you'll be able to accomplish that with the guidance and tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not going to be me that's going to help you accomplish that, nor are you going to help me accomplish that. That's really the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But at least by studying these concepts and studying these different diseases and these different hindrances, we can find our path, inshallah. We can find how to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I remember when I first went to study, and sitting there and listening, and many people don't know this, that when I first went overseas, although I grew up in an Arabic-speaking family, when my mother, rahimahullah, had her stroke, had one of her strokes early on in my life, she was not able to speak as fluently as she was early on. Although she had a degree in Arabic literature, she really wasn't able to speak Arabic fluently. And so the speech therapist told her that she should only speak one language, and so we were all forced in the house to speak English. So I remember going overseas when I first studied, although I, Palestinian origin and everything of that sort, I didn't understand what the scholars were talking about. It took me a few months of just sitting there and just listening. But the effect that the words were having on the teacher himself inspired me. And you'll see sometimes that there are people that are standing in Taraweeh, and the Imam, hopefully your Imam doesn't recite like an AK-47, but if your Imam recites with proper recitation and tartil, and the imam maybe gets affected and starts crying. There's a person that's there that just converted to Islam 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and that person is really moved to tears. Why? Because it's the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's the hidayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides the hearts. And so that's the goal. We're studying knowledge with that purpose, not to go and shame other people, not to tell other people, stories that we've learned. We're not seeking what interests us as much as we're seeking what benefits us. So inshallah, I hope to see you all there, and I hope you live up to your reputation. I hope the seminar lives up to its reputation with you.